Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi or save up to $9,500 on the 550 horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Hello and welcome to the CIML football pregame show. It is week 1 of the 2026 Iowa high school football season and our coverage here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Boy, time flies by and it's good to be football season once again here in the fall. The fall air is coming in, the weather's starting to cool down. It is a really good time to be a fan of football here in Central Iowa. I'm your host, Blake Walker. Let's get into today's show. Your Radio Iowa polls are what we're going to go off of for our rankings here in 2026, at least to start, and that's what we're going to start out with. These are your top 10 rankings here, thanks to Radio Iowa. Waukee Northwest is number 1. Dowling Catholic, the defending state champion, is at number 2. Johnston is number 3 under Coach Woodley, and Iowa City Liberty, new coach at the helm, at the number 4 spot. West Des Moines Valley at the 5. Southeast Polk is at 6. Cedar Rapids Prairie, one of the first or the second Eastern Iowa school to make it up there in the 7th spot. Sioux City East, watch out for this team. A high-flying offense that was all juniors last year, come back strong this year. Remember, they almost beat Waukee Northwest in the postseason. They are at number 8. Dallas Center Grimes, their second year here in Class 5A. We'll see how they do. They start at number 9. And then Iowa City West. The Trojans find themselves at the number 10 position. Top 10 rankings. Boy, aren't they fun. We'll see how much they change when we get to week 9 and we look back and say maybe who was right and maybe a couple were wrong. But either way, that's why we play the games. When we come back, we're going to talk to some coaches before tonight's big matchups. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network football pregame show.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Welcome back to the CIML Football Pregame Show. I'm your host, Blake Walker. Let's close this thing out by looking at some of the top games to watch here this evening on both the Central Iowa Sports Network and WHO Channel 13. Our WHO 13 Plus app game of the week is Waukee versus Johnston. Two teams, a lot of questions. Johnston seems to be in the better spot coming into 2026. We'll see if Waukee can defend their home turf here on week 1. Southeast Polk heads to Ankeny Centennial to take on the Jags. Southeast Polk very promising with a very good offensive line as always and a very good running back. Centennial lost a lot from last year's team. They'll be fun to watch in this one. The classic Dowling Valley rivalry tonight should be a fun one over at Valley Stadium. You can catch that game on Channel 13, whether that's on their streaming service, their website, or you can catch them straight up on TV. So make sure to check out Valley Dowling on Channel 13 this evening. Ankeny and Waukee Northwest should be a fun game over at Northwest between those two programs. And then if we're keeping an eye out east, which we always like to do from time to time, a classic rivalry. Iowa City High versus Iowa City West. in what should be a great matchup to start 2026. That will do it for us here on the CISN Football Pregame Show. It's been fun walking you through our Week 1 pregame. We hope you enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching the Central Iowa Sports Network Football Pregame Show. I've been your host, Blake Walker. Enjoy the games, everyone.
Welcome into Waukee Stadium as we get ready for tonight's Central Iowa Game of the Week. I'm Trent Condon, glad to have you aboard with us as we get ready for this one as the homestanding Waukee Warriors face off against the Johnston Dragons. Two teams coming to the seasons with varying degrees of hope coming into the year. For the Johnston Dragons, they are as high as the preseason number 3 team, depending on what poll you look at. Radio Iowa has them at number 3, while the Waukee Warriors, they're going to be looking for some answers this year. A big group of seniors have moved on, including their 4-year starter at the quarterback position, Beckett Baker, on to the collegiate level, and that means we're going to see somebody new back behind center and a lot of new faces out there for the Waukee Warriors. The Central Iowa Game of the Week you can find each and every week here on CISN TV. Also, thank you to WHO 13, who will have our game every week along with it. And you can also hear the game on radio on top of it, as we have the radio broadcast on ESPN Des Moines, 1350 on the AM dial, along with 102.1 on the FM. Get ready for kickoff here. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll give you the keys to the game and our players to watch coming up next. It's the Central Iowa Game of the Week on CISN TV. We're back with more in a moment.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back once again to Waukee as the Johnston Dragons take the field in their all-white uniforms. Tell you what, Lucas Strain, some of my favorite uniform combinations come from the Dragons as they went a few years back to that all LSU look, and it looks
and we got a lot of purple and gold, a lot of purple and white, some black mixed in here because we got Waukee, we got Johnston. Those uniforms are clean, Trent, but I think it is just my background. I still got to hold a little bit of grudge against them. Nothing against the uniforms themselves, but I look at that and I still roll my eyes just a little bit.
Well, some guy that won't be changing his colors next year is Trevor Helming, the senior quarterback, and our player to watch here. Helming a year ago, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's committed to play where his dad played at UNI, a tremendous quarterback.
Yeah, Helming's really good. You know, you're going to see him as a Panther next season. You mentioned not changing those colors. He's going to be the leader of this team, the senior. He's got experience under his belt. You look at those stats from a season ago. He's really good. You know, this kid's really good. He's going to be the leader of this team. The first game of your senior year, there's a little bit of pressure going into it. We're going to see what he's got early on.
On the other side, the Waukee Warriors come in. A playoff victory for a year ago. They had the big upset win towards the end of the regular season as they knocked off Waukee Northwest, one of the big surprises of the season in that one. Got a playoff victory. We're upended by Iowa City Liberty. That was a competitive game also.
Yep.
But Waukee, much different this year. They're going to have a lot of new faces out there.
Yeah, they got a lot of new faces out there, do the Warriors. And here's the number one thing they're going to have to do. They're going to have to overcome some adversity, because you look at what Waukee's going through. It's not just what's going on the field. New season, you mentioned a lot of turnover. It's the stuff that's happened off the field for Waukee so far this season. And it's an interesting storyline to follow as they're getting ready to come onto the field.
We're seeing them come out. Gone are the days of the old golf cart with the helmet.
Yeah, what the heck?
They have changed that a couple of years back, and now coming out in their home uniforms. They'll be wearing the all black with the white hoods here this evening. Waukee against Johnston in the Battle of Purple. A player to watch for Waukee is Miles O'Connor. A year ago, Miles O'Connor was the number 3 receiver on this squad. He was able to put together a very nice season in the recruiting game when they had a lot of talented wideouts out there a year ago. Last season, he was on the squad with led the way out of that wide receiver group, and definitely an opportunity for him to take a big step forward this year and help out what they're doing in the receiving game this year. Miles O'Connor also changed his number this year. He was number 28 a year ago, now wearing number 8 this season. That's a good thing about a senior. You usually get that opportunity if you want to change your number.
Oh yeah, it makes it easier on us. You never usually see a number 28, a wide receiver wearing number 28. You see 28, you're going, huh? What's going on there? But so you see his numbers from a season ago: 12 receptions, 137 yards. Yards per catch, a lot of times in high school, you'll see that number creeping up towards double digits. That's a good number for Miles O'Connor. So only the 12 receptions a season ago. As you said, Trent, he was number 3 on the team last season. He's got big shoes to fill. He's going to have to take that next step forward. Does the junior? Can he be that number 1 receiver for this squad? Tonight's the first step.
We look at the matchup here this evening between these two squads, and a big storyline also is the guy that's not going to be on the sideline.
Yep.
Baker, the head coach, a 2-game suspension stemming from an OWI arrest a week ago. That's one that, talk about the adversity, something that certainly difficult to talk about. A learning moment, and a lot of people that are in Coach Baker's corner. 2-game suspension. He'll be back with the squad, but it's going to be different out there tonight for this Waukee team.
Well, it's a different experience for Waukee because you lose your coach, but don't forget his son was the quarterback of this squad for, 3 years? He was the starting quarterback, was Beckett Baker. So things are going to look completely different for Waukee on the offensive side of the ball. So you don't have your head coach for the first 2 games. Your quarterback that you've been under for the last 3 seasons, he's not here this year. It's a whole new transition. And what do you got? You got the number 3 team in the state coming to your place week 1 of the season. Let's go.
Let's go down to the field right now as we get the coin flip. Brad Bunting, the head official, will do the duties.
The toss, you would like to defer. Waukee will receive from the south end. Johnston, defer their second half. Waukee will begin the game receiving. Gentlemen, shake hands. Good luck tonight.
Let's meet our official. So there it is, and the officiating crew led by Brad Bunting, the head referee. The head linesman is Gabe Katz. Your umpire is Jason Higgins. Line judge is Jay Leach, and the back judge is Dan Zeger. We're glad to have you with us here, Lucas Strain. As you can see on camera, dealing with a little bit of a sling and shoulder surgery. So you're not going to be slinging it around out there.
No.
You're not going to relive your high school days.
No, absolutely not. I go down onto the field. It's nothing more than a brisk walk at this point. You look at the toss, and you see that Johnston decided to defer off the bat. To me, Trent, I always prefer that in high school. I always prefer it that way because in high school, especially in the state of Iowa, defense is so much better than offenses are. You have to have a really good offense to decide to take the ball first and want to put your offense on the field. It shows confidence in your defense. I appreciate the decision.
It will be Johnston to kick it off. Waukee back deep to receive as Thurston Dembo is back there. Tremendous defensive player. Back to receive along with Cal Meister. The junior defensive back are back deep for Waukee. Ready to kick this one off. It'll be Ricardo Solis Downing, senior kicker. He was a kicker and punter for them last year. And he'll do both duties this year also.
Trent, this is one of the best nights of the year. The first night of high school football. It's the first week of school for these kids. You get to celebrate by having a home game on Friday night, or you got to go on the road and show what you're worth. You got the first week of the playoffs, you get the second week of the playoffs, and you got week 1 of the season. Those are the best 3 nights in high school football. We got one of them here tonight.
Waukee to receive the opening kickoff, and it is in the air, line drive kick. That'll go into the end zone for a touchback 8 yards deep. And we are underway as the Warriors Going left to right on your radio dial, on left to right on your video screen here on CISN TV and the WHO 13 app. Thanks for joining us here. Great crowd on hand. Student section over across the way on the Johnston side, completely filled in. They got the whiteout, it looks like, over there. Here on the homesteading Waukee side, they're going with beach night. Like that one, though we have some minions in the front.
I was going to test if you got some kiddos of your own. I was going to say, you got to know what the minions are. You got to know. I'm guessing that's the seniors, the boys down in the front row. I like to see them represent. All right, first play of the game here, Trent. It's always fun to see. Is a team going to try and establish the run game or take a shot early?
They're going to go with the zone read, hand it off to the running back out to the right side. Short gain, a pickup of 1.5 yards on the run by Sam Heinrich. And getting the start here at the quarterback position, it is TJ Slider, the senior quarterback, 6'2", 182. He will be wearing number 7. And Heinrich, we saw some carries a year ago as a sophomore for Waukee. He'll be your running back. A full wide receiver look for Waukee to open things up. They gave him 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 22.
It's interesting to see a team huddle. You don't see that much in high school.
Yeah, and this one, and a Waukee team that certainly feels like early on they're going to rely on that defense, probably want to shorten the game. Quick throw, but before we had a whistle and a flag. Speaking of that huddle, not sure if they got the play off in time. We'll check down with Brad Bunting with the call.
This looks like the flag came from the far side.
Defense, 19. Line up in the neutral zone. 5 yards. Remains 2nd down.
So the penalty on Johnston's Cannon Reinders, wide receiver and a defensive back. He got caught in the neutral zone, different at the high school level than what you see collegiately and in the NFL, where you can get back once you cross that line of scrimmage. It's a penalty. Well, now they're walking it back.
Yeah. So offsides on.
Offense. We'll line up in the neutral zone.
There you go.
2nd down.
All right, so we correct that one here. Colton Smith got called for it, the senior tight end, 6'3", 216 pounds. So move it back, and it'll become now 2nd down and 13 for Waukee. Twin receivers on each side of the formation. They'll put a man in motion. That is Reisner. He's stacked up on the left side. A wide receiver screen out to the right. Not much room out there. Great penetration and the stop by Angelo right at the line of scrimmage.
So on that first play, we saw that was a zone read, so the quarterback could either run it himself or hand it off. This one, you'll oftentimes see it as an RPO, where either you can hand it off to the running back or sling it out wide. I think this was just a straight pass because this was a rather quick decision. So now you're into a 3rd and 13. You don't know how good your offensive line is going to be based off of the play calls we've seen in the first 3 plays. Everything's been right at the line of scrimmage. So is Waukee going to try and actually get the sticks here, or are they just going to play it safe on the first drive of the season?
They'll work out of the shotgun again. This time they'll go 3 receivers left, single to the right, out of the gun. Slider wants to throw. He's got a man out there, bit high, incomplete. Had the defense stacked up. You had Peterson stepping in front of that one. Had to make a perfect throw, just a little bit too tall, incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, so that's a nice play by Peterson there, because you saw that pass was floating just a little bit for the intended receiver. Peterson's the one who cuts that off. If that ball wasn't floated, Peterson's taking that to the house. It's a house call in the first drive of the season, so that's a good undercut, knowing you got protection over the top as well. So this is something I always find interesting in high school, too. You never see it in the NFL. You see it a little bit in college, but not as much as you do in high school. You got 2 returners back there. Trent, that can often lead to miscommunication.
Pressure on Meissner. He line drives the kick. It'll bounce at the 48-yard line. Take a Waukee bounce into Johnston territory, and it rolls dead at the 45-yard line. Good flip there on the punt. Able to get no return on that one, and a 33-yard punt, make that a 38-yard punt, and no return. Good net on that one. And now we'll get to see this high-powered Johnston offense on the field.
Yeah, so this is the number 3 team in the state, and there's a reason for it because of this offense. And they got that quarterback. He's committed to UNI. Look at him. He's going to be the leader of this team. He's the player that we highlighted before the game started, and they're taking their first drive of the season in very good field position.
As back behind center, once again, it will be Helming. Twin receivers on the left side, single to the right. They'll put a man in motion. And they will throw it on the first play, on the slant, incomplete, put it on the numbers, maybe a touch low, and Chapman not able to come up with it, the sophomore.
Well, so look at that, their first play of the season, they're going to a sophomore, and I think this was just a little bit of a late decision here. Yeah, that was a slant route, but you don't want him to be catching that ball 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. If it's a slant, you want that caught anywhere between 3 and 6 yards, because that's a boom, boom type of play. It's an incompletion, no harm though.
Second down and 10 from the 45 for the Dragons. Bunch formation to the left side. They'll swing it out that way, complete. Turn it up the field, near midfield. Knocked down after a gain of 4. Good defense there, including Thurston Nembo, one of their leaders from a season ago on the completion to Bryce Beechin. Give them 5 on the play. It'll be third down and 5 for the Dragons.
So that's another play that we've seen at the line of scrimmage, so a little bit different from what we saw on the first play where they tried to go down the field originally, and now they go at the line of scrimmage. So you do something like that again, you pick up another 4 yards or so, you put yourself in an interesting situation. See, and here's the contrast where Johnston's deciding not to huddle. It's kind of like a mixed huddle where the offensive linemen are still pretty close and the quarterback's still relaying things right away. Here we go, 3rd and 6.
Working out of the gun once again. Helming takes the snap. Going to throw. Has got a man complete out to the left side. Good enough for the first down. Needed 6. They got 8 on the completion to Reinders. Caden Reinders, the senior wide receiver, had a nice year a year ago. 6'2", 200 pounds. Looks the part and gets the first.
Yeah, that's a really nice design play. You see RPOs, it's so big in football today, especially in high school. And that's a little wheel route going out there. And something you'll see from defenses early on in the season, especially in the first half of the first game, they're so aggressive. So all 3 of these plays have been RPOs so far, and the defense has crashed in all 3 of them.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. They'll swing it out to left side. Ball comes loose, but out of bounds on the carry. Got it out there for the first time to Emory Jones, the leading rusher from a year ago. And they'll mark it out at the 41-yard line. Going to get a whistle as the white hat Brad Bunting's going to stop play and make sure they got the correct spot.
Still got to go over things. That's where the ball comes out, gentlemen. See, that's what we're making sure we got everything right.
No doubt about that.
So look at the boys. The stripes are in season.
That's right.
They know what they're doing.
They got the opportunity, certainly got a little bit of work last week on the scrimmages that were happening across the state, and an opportunity there, and got the call right. It'll be second down, and we'll call it 8 from the 41-yard line. Two receivers right, single left for Trevor Helming. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off to Emory Jones up the middle, powers his way forward. Not a whole lot of room there, but he was able to pick up 5. It'll be third down and short now for the Dragons.
So a little bit of contrast there again, but as we see Johnston's going a little bit quicker here. Another RPO, Waukee making adjustments. They're making him run the ball instead.
Quickly come, not much movement up front. Confusion all over the place, incomplete. Coming flying in there was the Waukee defense, including Brady Carr.
See, that's the downside of going quickly, where the center's the only one who knew what was going on. The center and the quarterback, everybody else, the other 4 offensive linemen, the skill guys out wide, even Jones in the backfield, nobody else was moving, so that gave Waukee an advantage. That's why everybody was just in his face.
So it's 4th down and 3 from the 36, and the offense is going to stay on the field for the Dragons. Going to go for it, our first 4th down opportunity for an offense here with the Dragons. 2 receivers on each side for Helming. Looking left, stands tall in the pocket. A lot of time. Cross the middle, wide open. It's complete all the way inside the 10-yard line. Threw a bullet to Bryce Beecham, his second catch, and they're in business.
All right, so Bryce Beecham, this is another player that we want to spotlight for the Dragons, because you think of this kid a season ago. 2 catches, about 128 yards, 1 touchdown. One of them was a 70-yard touchdown. Trent, last season, in this exact game, Waukee Johnston, he breaks his hand. He's out for the rest of the year. He's been itching to get back onto the field.
First down and goal from the 8-yard line for the Dragons. They'll hand it off Emory Jones. He is stuck at the line. Loss of a yard on the play. Great penetration. Brecken Beer with the big hit.
Oh, look at that. The senior coming up the middle says enough is enough. That's another RPO, and Waukee does a great job on the short side. So you look at the linebacker there on CISN. He just comes ripping through the middle to make that tackle. He was just unblocked.
Substitution as Johnston will take Beecham out here and into the game. They'll add an extra tight end as Evan Gosling 6'3", 235. He wears number 3, but he's a big guy out there as they'll go tight. Couple of extra tight ends in the ball game. Out of the shotgun again for Helming. And they will hand it off. Emory Jones looking to the right side, bounces it out, looking for the corner, to the pylon, touchdown Dragons. Emory Jones, a 9-yard touchdown run, and Johnston strikes first.
You know what I'm going to do whenever it comes to a rushing touchdown? I got to find somebody up front to give some love to, and I'm actually going to go to Helming, the quarterback. Must be his little brother, maybe a cousin here, but his sibling, Tyler Helming, number 86, is the tight end out wide. Look at him here on the replay. Look at him catch this seal of the outside linebacker. His job, the outside linebacker, is make sure nobody gets outside of him. Helming made sure that wasn't going to happen.
Extra point is up, and it is good. 7-0, Johnston with the lead over Waukee. 7:27 to play in the first quarter. Quick timeout here on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back to Waukee, a 7-0 lead for Johnston after the 9-yard touchdown run. Another kick deep into the end zone, and we've seen it here a couple of times here. A couple of beautiful kicks there from their returner, Ricky Solis Downing. Powerful leg.
Yeah. High school kickers' legs have gotten a lot stronger, yes. I feel like, since I was in high school. I feel like the kickers, and that wasn't even that long ago. That was only, 7 years ago. I feel like the kickers, we weren't kicking touchbacks at every time. All right, so look at what Waukee's got to do here. One of our keys to the game is they got to just overcome some adversity, both on and off the field. Just got to calm down a little bit. On that first offensive drive, Trent, penalties are a part of the game, and you can live with something like a holding. You know, that's somebody who's trying to make something happen. But when it's a penalty that doesn't need to happen, like lining up in the neutral zone and setting your team back 5 yards, like Waukee did on their second play of the season, that's what sets you back. They can't afford to have that happen again.
The slider takes the snap and now looking to throw across the middle. Great coverage, but even a better throw. Talk about finding the window there. Boston Onstadt on the reception and a pickup of 11 on the play. A degree of difficulty high on that one, Lucas.
Yeah, it's kind of like a smash concept where they're going with, where they got two guys on the outside. That's where I thought he was going to go. That's a really tight window, a really nice catch and throw there from Waukee to pick up the first down. All right, so that's your first down. Everybody, you can take a deep breath. You don't slow things down. It's only 7-0. You got plenty of time.
31-yard line for Waukee. Again, they huddle up. They break the huddle as they come trotting out to the line. Down to 5 on the play clock. They got to hurry and just get it off in time. Swing pass out to the left, complete, but hit at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration out there, looking for that little bubble out to the running back. No gain, and the tackle from number 5, Jacob Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson's been all over the place because remember, he's the one who undercut that pass on that first drive. So you look at what Johnston did there defensively. Whenever you see a swing route, it's up to your defensive backs out wide to get some kind of push. So that way the running back or the pass catcher just feels a little like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And that allows your linebacker, Peterson, to be able to come up and make the play.
Approaching the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, 7-0 lead for Johnston over Waukee. Warriors with the football, 2nd down and 10. They'll hand it off this time, cutting back to the left, but not much room against that Johnston defense. Maybe got a yard on the play, but that was it for Sam Heinrich. It'll be 3rd and long.
So Waukee decides to go with what's kind of like an inside zone split where they're going to bring in a backside tight end to go block up the middle, almost right behind where the center is. That's where they want this hole to go. But Johnston, just as a whole, does a really good job. Everybody, all 6 guys up front, and then a 7th swarming in to just clog everything up. All right, a 3rd and 8. We saw them try a pass out wide to the left, about 7 yards behind the line last time they were to 3rd and long.
And this time they'll go play action, rolling out, Looking's got some time. Going to chuck it, but short as the pressure was there. Great penetration. Evan Gosling got in there, the outside linebacker. He's having a conversation as he makes his way over. It'll be 4th down and 8, and the punt team will come out for Waukee.
Yeah, I think this is a moment where Slider was just trying to make things happen a little bit too much because he had his check down. I think it was Meisner. He was the one who was there, the junior receiver. He had nobody around him, and yeah, he was going to be about 5 yards short of the sticks, but there was nobody around him where he could have caught it and ran forward for another 5 yards and easily been able to pick up that 1st down. I think Slider was just too focused on looking downfield.
Eisner now to punt. Got a good spiral punt. Not a ton of distance. Fair catch called for and grabbed at the 34-yard line, but 32-yard punt, no return as Meacham gets called for the fair catch there. They'll mark it, in fact, at the 36-yard line, but good start overall here on both sides. Now Johnston, boy, really could change the complexion of this one if they can get the offense hummed up again.
Yeah, they can. You can make this a 2-score game in just the first quarter, and their offense was doing really good last drive. Think of how those first 3 plays, how they started. Then if you're Waukee, you got to remind yourself, guys, we hit them at 4th and 2.
Yeah.
We were 1 play away from turning them over on downs, and this game's completely different. Your defense, you did fine. You just didn't quite finish it off.
Back man in the controls, Trevin Helming, the senior quarterback, and he looks to throw across the middle again. That one a bit behind the receiver, knocked away, incomplete. Good defense there out of the safety spot from A.J. Ritzman, getting his hand in there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It's a good concept from Johnston because there's this little soft spot right in front of Richmond, right behind the linebackers and in front of where he's playing at deep safety. The ball's just a little bit behind the intended receiver. It's a good concept from both squads.
2nd down and 10 for the Dragons, working from their own 36-yard line, going right to left across your radio dial. They'll go back to the run game again. It's Emory Jones. Finds some room. He's got the 1st down. Good hard running out of Emory Jones. He did it a year ago, the senior, and he's doing it again this season. Last year, Jones led Johnston, 182 carries, 811 yards, averaged 4.5 yards per carry and 11 touchdowns, and he's picking up right where he left off.
Yeah, he is. He had the touchdown on the first drive, and this run is really impressive because this is supposed to go outside, and he's just waiting, and then eventually Waukee just overflows just a tad, so he's able to stick that right foot in the ground and cut back upfield. It's a good 12-yard carry.
1st and 10, they'll go with the shot out to the right side, but incomplete. Just a little bit too hot there for the intended target. Went back to the sophomore Cameron Chapman. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Chapman's the wide outright. We saw them go to him on the first play of the game offensively for Johnston. And they recognized a little man-to-man. So this is another RPO. So it's man-to-man on the short side of the field. The run designed to go towards the left. And you saw, I think that's, who is that out wide out there for Waukee? That's that's Meisner out there again, the punter, the guy, the intended receiver last drive for Johnston. He was playing about 10 yards off the ball, so they had the pass there. It was just a little wide.
2nd and 10, setting up a screen to the middle, complete to Jones. Got a little bit of room, spins through a couple of tackles and picks up 8 all the way into Waukee territory, and they'll mark him down at the 43-yard line.
Screens are one of the best plays to run in high school because everyone is just so excited. A defensive lineman is so excited to think, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to go and get the quarterback. And it happens at all levels, but it really happens in high school because guys just they're not used to it yet. They're not just used to, oh, this is a screen. They don't have the practice, the repetition to recognize it yet. So then it's up to your players in the secondary if nobody recognizes it. So that's why Johnston's able to pick up 7-8 yards on that one.
3rd down and 2 for Johnston at the Waukee 43-yard line. They'll bring him in across the formation. Play action again, wide open. It's complete. 1st down all the way to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 8 on the completion. Another nice pitch and catch there as he was able to find Reinders.
Yeah, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because this is a play that Johnston ran on the first drive. A little RPO with Reinders running the wheel route. on the left side. It was the exact same thing. Throws a little bit behind, but that's actually what you're looking for, because if he leads him, that could either lead to an interception or a dangerous throw in which Reinders gets hit by the oncoming safety.
1st and 10 Johnston as they move it now to the 34-yard line, getting closer and closer to the red zone, brought to you by Metro and our Metro Red Zone this season on CISN. Shotgun snap handoff, Emory Jones. He cuts out to the left in a nice gain to the 28-yard line. 6 more yards for Emory Jones. And one thing, talking to Coach Woodley earlier this week, 2 returning starters, that's a good starting point at high school. Was interested to see how the rest of those new guys would be out there. So far, so good on that O-line.
Yeah, the offensive line's looking really good, and it always helps when the defensive line's going to push just a little bit more, especially if it's a run up the middle. You can let those guys go vertically down the field on the outside. That's exactly what you want them to do. So the offensive line's done a really good job. They're creating a lot of holes up front so far.
2nd down and 5 as they'll go play action. Out to the left, bobbled, but a catch out there. Another tough one for Reinders, and I believe Reinders is the son of former Iowa quarterback Randy Reinders.
Ooh.
I think I remember that from a year ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hit me up there on social media, but Reinders with another nice grab. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, so that's his 3rd catch of the game, and we talked about it earlier this drive when they had a little 5-yard out route on the right side with the sophomore receiver. This time, they're doing the exact same thing, and again, this one was on the short side of the field. So what we're seeing here is when Johnston has a single receiver on the left and they have the offset running back on the left side, they're trying to run an RPO where it's either run to the right or an outside out route on the left.
Straight drop back here for Helmy. He's got a drag route. Going to go to the second receiver through, incomplete. Threw it behind Bryce Beecham, who we had wide open there. Speaking of great concept, love the concept there with the double drags.
Yeah, so what you want to do, how you beat a zone, is you just flood it. You get multiple guys in there, so that way there's 2 guys in the same area where there only 1 guy can defend. And Trent, you and I both saw the same thing. You mentioned the drag. I saw the drag too, but what they were doing is they wanted the drag to get across the field. Let everybody follow, focus on that drag, like I did, like you did, and then it just left him right there. The throw was just a little bit behind Beecham.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 23-yard line for Johnston. 2:27 left to play in the opening quarter. Johnston leading 7-0. Helming swings it out to the right, complete. Turning it up, little bit of space. Breaking a tackle inside the 10. Mark him out at the 8-yard line on the completion for Johnston to Jaden Hauser, the tight end with the grab. And once again, the Johnston Dragons in the Metro Red Zone.
All right, they're getting everybody involved here. Now they're going to Hauser. And again, Trent, I love to point out the people blocking. Reinders, who's got a couple of catches already in this game, he's the one who sets up that block out there on the outside. He gave a nice little hole for Hauser to be able to exploit. So last time they were inside the 10-yard line, what we saw them do is they ran it. They ran it twice in a row on that right side. See if they try it again.
1st and goal. Clock ticks inside of 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Johnston already up a score. It'll be Emory Jones up the middle, powering his way forward. He's going to be just short of the goal line. Markham inside the 1, but another hard run for Emory Jones.
Yeah, we've talked about his patience so far. We've talked about his speed. This time we're going to see that strength where he cuts back once again and he just lowers the shoulder because contact happens about 5-6 yards outside the goal line. He's able to just push back the Waukee defenders, push him back another 5 yards. All right. Inside the 1-yard line, a lot of times you'll see a quarterback sneak. We haven't seen Johnston go under center yet. So far tonight, looks like they're doing it for the first time right now.
You're going to do it with Helming, a big quarterback. They are going to hand it off, though, to Jones. A flag does come in. Touchdown is called, but we wait on the flag. And normally that's a spot. Now, it could be either way here. Could have somebody in the neutral zone. We're going to check here with the near side official.
With the formation, offense. 4 in the backfield. 5 yards. Good play. 2nd down.
Well, that is something that'll drive coaches absolutely crazy. Not just penalties in general, but penalties inside the 5-yard line. That time inside the 1. That hurts.
Especially because it was a touchdown. It was a walk-in touchdown for him. So I wonder if it was supposed to be, because they had a 1 tight end set with a receiver on each side and a running back in the backfield, obviously, and their quarterback. So I wonder if it was supposed to be one of the 2 receivers or if it was the tight end he was supposed to be on, because it was just one guy who was missing. All right, so even on the play where they got 5 yards on it, they handed it to Emory Jones, and they just let him run across the quarterback. But he stepped back and countered it.
And now Johnston going to use a timeout with a minute.
Did they use a timeout? I see the flag in the back. Yep, timeout. Okay.
Got it just in time. We'll take it with them back in a minute here with more high school football. Johnston in the red zone when we come back. Stay right there. This is high school football on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Welcome back to Waukee. It'll be second down and goal from the 6-yard line, and they'll go under center again. Will the Johnston Dragons already leaving 7-0. They pitch it out to Emory Jones. Powers his way forward to the 2. Pick up a 4 on the play. Third and goal. Tighten things up there a little bit and then went with the pitch play.
Yeah, I like getting guys running downhill when you get into these short yardage situations rather than a handoff out of the shotgun. And they tried to get this outside. It was just a really good job by Waukee defensively to set the edge. He had to cut it back, and by the time he cut back, the Waukee linebackers were there to make the play. So now, last time we saw the 3rd and 1, they lined up under center, and they handed it off to Jones, and he got in, but that was when the penalty happened. See if they go with something similar here.
Single back formation, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Helming under center. Will hand it to Jones. Up the middle. Gonna be close. Still no signal as they unearth the pile. Then it's a touchdown. A late call, but a score for Johnston. Emory Jones in for the second time, and it's a 2-score lead for Johnston.
Yeah, I thought Thurston Nebo, the senior defensive back for Waukee, I thought he got in there just in time. He's the one there at the bottom of the pile, tried to make the tackle around the knees. It's just very, very difficult to make to tackle somebody when they're running downhill. So 2 drives, 2 rushing touchdowns for Emory Jones. Kids feeling it so far. First quarter of the first game.
On to attempt the PAT, Ricardo Solis Downing. It is up and it is good. 14-0. Johnston with the lead. 14 seconds left in the first quarter as we come back with more. This is high school football on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Warriors, 0.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Another touchback on the kickoff as Ricardo Solis Downing for the 3rd time pounds it into the purple painted end zone here in Waukee. 14-0. Johnston with the lead, and now Waukee, boy, talk about backed up. Need a response on this drive.
Yeah, so your offense, they haven't done poorly. They haven't done bad, but they haven't looked great either so far. But Johnston, what they're doing offensively is they're just marching right down the field on your defense. And I don't think Slider's played poorly. I don't think he's played bad so far for Waukee. Shown a little bit of nerves here and there, yes. Missed a read. But I think he's doing just fine. They just got to settle in, get a couple of first downs, get it beyond the midfield mark.
Pistol formations with twin receivers on the left side. They'll hand it off, and nothing there. It'll be a loss for Sam Heinrich as charging through the Johnston defense. Owen Hupfer, one of the leading tacklers from a year ago, that is back. He was there. He'll get a tackle for a loss. And that'll do it for the first quarter. 14-0 Johnston with the lead over Waukee as we go to the second quarter. We'll take the timeout here. High school football continues in a moment on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Run, jump, lift, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Welcome back once again to Waukee as we go to the second quarter. Johnston now to a 14-0 lead. High school football on ESPN Des Moines and CISN TV, brought to you in part by Elite Eye Care with 5 locations across the metro, including one here in Waukee, a couple up in Ankeny as well, and Norwalk, iDoctorDesMoines.com. Also, thank you to Wolf Construction Roofing, wolfroofing.net for your needs as the winter right around the corner. If you've been putting it off, the time is now. Go to wolfroofing.net. As they set up the quarterback run out to the left side, Slider trying to get to the edge, but great work again out of this Johnston Dragon defense. Coming up and making the tackle, Isaiah Thompson. And it'll be 3rd and long after another loss on the play.
Waukee's trying to get something going offensively. They're not getting that much push from their offensive line, so it's hard to run the ball. Try a little misdirection, a quarterback keeper. They have 2 guys pulling to block on the outside. It's just Johnston did so good defensively as a team to get there, and then Thompson, the defensive back, is able to shed his block. As they tried to bounce it even further outside, there was just nothing there. Nice play by Thompson to cap things off.
3rd down and 15. After another loss on the play, a Slider works out of the gun. Looking left now, pressure comes. He's going to be sacked, brought down by the Dragon defense. That time it was Johnston's number 90, who I don't have on the roster. You got an updated one?
I got a 40. Was it a 40 or a 90?
40? Well, maybe it's my eyes. Yeah, well, you know, when you get old, Lucas, this is what starts to happen. So credit there to Weston Danner on the sack.
Yeah, well, give a little credit here to Danner. He's the one who comes in from that outside. Yeah, there it is, number 40. You can see the replay there. He's the only one in tights. So, Trent, when I was in high school, we had a rule, first game of the year, because it's always so hot, you're not allowed to wear tights. You're not allowed to. And he's the only one on the field wearing tights right now.
I definitely understand that. A lot of cramping we see early in the season. Here's the punt, got it away, spiraling out of bounds. It's grabbed at the 42, but it's going to depend on where that black-hatted referee walks forward to. He'll walk forward to the 38. And that's where they'll spot it out. Now, you've officiated. I don't know how much football officiating you do. Do you really have a clue?
No, that's what I was just going to say. I have no idea how they determine it. I know you're supposed to talk with the official diagonal to you. So, to paint the word picture, it's the ref on the sideline closest to us. Back where the receiving team was, he's supposed to be in conversation with the ref on the far sideline, on the other side of the field, as to when the ball came out. They have some kind of hand signal. You have no idea whatsoever.
Johnston will take over in great field position, starting at the Waukee 38-yard line, already up 2 scores as they work out of the gun. Trevor Helming, the senior quarterback, back as a starter once again, will hand it off. This time hit at the line. Great penetration up front, and Mason Moritz there first for the Warriors.
Yeah, so there's the stand that you're looking for defensively if you're Waukee. Dante Davis was the ball carrier there for Johnston. Kind of sucks for him where it's his first carry of the game, and it's the play where Waukee really decides to bring it up front defensively. So that's a good job by the Warriors there, all right? So now you get into your situation where you don't know what Johnston's going to do, but you know that they're going to try and get some kind of yardage here to make it a 3rd and medium. You still got Davis in the ball game, so probably got to think this is going to go in the air.
It is second down and 10. They mark it no gain on the play. Slot man goes in motion, gets a little bit of a jump start there. Pressure comes. Helming tries to throw it as he's in the grasp. It'll be called, I believe, incomplete. We have a flag back near the 40-yard line, also on the far side of the field, officially called incomplete. And now we'll let the refs figure this one out.
All right, so the one-arm shift, and he's pointing at the offense. I'm trying to remember if it's a legal shift or a legal motion. I think that one is a legal shift. We're going to see if I remember correctly.
We'll go down to the field. Brad Bunting, he's going to come over to the Waukee sideline and get the official call from the coaching staff over there.
Motion, offense, defensive high, third down.
I was wrong. It's a legal motion.
Legal motion.
Couldn't remember which signal. It's either two arms or one arms. Couldn't get that one right.
So they'll decline the penalty. That'll set up a third down and 10 from the 38. Probably 4-down territory for Johnston, though.
Probably. Trent, do you think that they might have gotten away with an intentional grounding there? Did he look out of the pocket?
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing you did. Wasn't sure if there was a receiver out there. Maybe a break here for Johnston with 9:43 to play in the quarter. Shotgun snap, looking right. Helming, pump fakes, pressure comes, steps through it. Now he's going to try to run. 35-30, he's going to get the edge and get the first down. A pickup on the play all the way to the 25 of 13 yards and a fresh set of downs for Johnston.
Well, Johnston's been beating Waukee deep down the field with the passing game, so Waukee dropped 7 guys in coverage there. Yeah, they were getting everybody back at the sticks to try and stop this 3rd and 10. There's nobody up front. By the time that there was somebody there, he was already past the sticks. And it's a really good job out of him, where he has the ball in his right hand. Somebody comes up to touch him, the defensive lineman switches over to the left. That takes some guts. It's a nice play.
3 receivers right, 1 left for Helming on this first down. It's a draw play, and it is smothered in the backfield. Great penetration again out of the Waukee defense that time. Yamin Hassan with the tackle for loss.
You gotta look at it this way if you're Waukee. You gotta break things down. Look at it small picture. 3 out of the last 4 plays, you have won. You have one up front. You have one in the secondary. 3 out of the last 4. All right, break things down in a small way. Yeah, it's 14-0 on the scoreboard. 9 minutes left in the second quarter, and you haven't been playing great defensively for most of the game. But 3 out of the last 4, you've won it. You just got to take that kind of momentum with you.
Second down and 13, and call it a loss of 3 on the play. As the Dragons go backwards, clock in, 8:48 to play. Helming across to the left side. Got a man out there, just missed, incomplete. Here comes the flag. Saw some contact down there, and they're going to get Ty Eddy on the flag.
Yeah, so you recognize immediately, and I think this is what Helming saw before the snap, is you have man-to-man coverage on the short side of the field. And you got a huge height advantage. It was probably a 6-inch height advantage over there. So you throw the jump ball, maybe a little hold on the right arm there. It wasn't very physical, but there might have been a hold.
Yeah, I think it was kind of late as the ball was in the air. Just got a little bit of a tug there, and he also saw the angle from that official. Yeah. Exactly what he saw.
Yeah, I mean, for the difference between what we can see and what he can see, we are closed off because we're quite literally in the line of the pathway.
So it's a first down after the penalty. Move the ball into the Metro red zone at the 14-yard line for Johnston as they'll go 1st and 10. Man comes in motion. That is Beecham. But before, we got another flag, another whistle, and definitely feeling this first game jitters out there.
Just going to say that. Feels like the first game of the year, doesn't it?
Have that feel, and it's a false start.
5 yards, remain, first down.
So the penalty will be against Evan Behrens, one of the returners from a year ago, 6'5", 265 pounds. And move it back. It'll be 1st down and 15, back to the 19-yard line, still inside the Metro red zone. Break the huddle with plenty of time. 20 on the play clock for Johnston. Already out 14-0 with 8:41 left before halftime. Shotgun formation. Helming looking across the middle's got a man. That's Meacham complete. Little scatter step as he slides his way forward and picked up maybe another yard out of it. It'll be 2nd down.
Bryce Beecham, we talked about him earlier in the game. where last year he had 2 catches, about 120 yards. One of them was a 70-yard touchdown. The other one was a big 4th down conversion. You can tell just how much they wanted to get him involved in the game plan so far. What's he got, 4 catches so far in this game? The senior wideout was ready to get back on the field. Broken hand last year in this exact game going up against Waukee. Breaks his hand. He said the back of his hand hit his kneecap while he was on defense, and he felt it break right then and there. And he's playing really well so far.
2nd down and 8 from the 12-yard line. They'll hand it off to Emory Jones. Spins through 1 tackle. Fights his way forward right near the stick. Think he's going to be just short of it. They'll set up a 3rd down and short.
It's a nice spin move because Parker James, the senior defensive lineman for the Warriors, was in there. He read this right away. He was able to shed his block and get into the backfield about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Did everything right. Just couldn't make the tackle. Nice spin move from Emory Jones. Waukee, you're hoping that some of James's teammates would be able to pick him up there, but Emory Jones is a very tough ball carrier to take down.
7:30 clock running. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line, as they did give him the spot and the first as they go forward, running through. Emory Jones looking for his 3rd score of the night, going to be just short as he got the 1st down on 3rd and 1. To the 1-yard line, I believe is where they're going to mark it. And Emory Jones, a year ago, 811 yards, and looks like he's on his path to surpassing that this season.
Yeah, 811 yards. How about 3 touchdowns in the first half of the first game of the season? That'd be something pretty. So we haven't seen him throw the ball yet inside the 5-yard line. We've seen them lean on that offensive line. 2 returning starters from a year ago, but they have done so well so far this season. They go under center and they hand it off to Emory Jones. That's what they've done so far. They got a lot of blockers up front. See if they keep doing it.
Single receiver out to the left, couple extra tight ends in there on this 1st and goal run. It is Emory Jones, and he is hit for a loss. Came charging through there, and great penetration again from the Waukee defense as they'll get the tackle for a loss.
Something I find interesting that Waukee's doing here is when Johnston goes to these super sumo sets, Waukee's still only rocking 4 down defensive linemen. They're running a 4-4. They bring in their safeties into the box. So there's pros and cons to it. And you see the pros there where you have multiple guys at the 2nd level who get a little bit of an extra head start where they're able to come downhill to try and make that tackle in the backfield. Cons to it, of course, is that means you don't have guys up front on the line of scrimmage to plug holes right away.
Play clock at 5 as Helming goes under center. Gotta hurry to get this off. Jones in the backfield. They'll fake the pitch. Now Helming gonna roll out to the left. Looking for the goal line. Puts the football up. He is in. Touchdown, Johnston. Trevin Helming in. Beautiful play there and showed the athleticism.
Yeah, Helming, you got a little naked bootleg out towards that left side. Trent, he could have thrown it. He could have ran it. Look at how wide open he is. Waukee's trying to chase him down. He's got 3 different guys that he could have thrown it to, decides to take it to himself. So far, that offensive line, Trent, they have produced 3 rushing touchdowns in this first half.
And back on to attempt the PAD. It's Ricardo Solis Downing looking to go 3 for 3, and he does. 21-0. Johnston in control here over Waukee. We come back with a moment. This is high school football on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Football parent reps would like to.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Solis Downing with it on the tee. 21-0. Johnston with the lead. And another touchback for Solis Downing. That is a weapon that we probably don't talk about enough. Just a kicker at the high school level. You're just going to pin them deep at the 20 every time because we know how crazy special teams can be at the high school level.
It really is. And again, it's different in high school where if the ball goes into the end zone at all, it's a touchback, so you can't have your returner go back there, catch it in the end zone, and take it out. Where you could see guys where you put some great returnmen back there, you're going to get it out to the 30. Trent, think of how many games we've seen in the past where teams will start beyond the 30, even beyond the 40.
Yes.
We've seen games where there's multiple kickoff returns in general. So yeah, special teams is a great utility to have. Having a strong kicker to put it in the end zone each and every time, it's great strength.
TJ Slider with the throw out, and it's intercepted on the screen pass, picked off by Johnston. Jacob Peterson, the linebacker who's been everywhere tonight for the Dragons with the INT, and sets up Johnston again in great field position.
I think we're finding out that Peterson has a rather aggressive play style. First drive of the game, he tries to undercut it. Look at this. Boom! He comes flying down the field. He's about 7 yards behind, off the line of scrimmage. He comes flying, misses everyone trying to block him, flies through there, makes that catch in traffic. And for Waukee, things just went from bad to worse.
TJ Slider, I mean, you do not anticipate the outside linebacker making that play. That's not even a read thing. That is a defensive player making an incredible play.
Yes, that's not even something that you've seen on film, because that's just, it's the first game of the year. It's not a play that you recognize. That's just a defensive player acting on instincts. Peterson being an aggressive guy that he is, that we've seen all night long so far. That's just a tremendous play out of the Dragon defender.
Might be putting himself in consideration for our Graphite Construction Group Hard Hat Player of the Game. He has been tremendous. Now Johnston back to work offensively. They'll hand it off. Emory Jones bounces outside. Flag comes in inside the 5. Still fighting forward to the 2-yard line, but hold on. We got a flag out there. And the spot, likely we see a hold.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 57. 10 yards. Previous spot. Replay. First down.
Evan Behrens is the senior offensive lineman who did it, Trent. And I was watching from up here in the booth. I was like, man, what a block! He blocked a little bit because of all the hassle going on up front there. Yeah, did not get away with the hold.
So move the football back 10 yards as they will spot it at the 24-yard line, and moving out of the Metro red zone to back behind it now. This Johnston offense, it has been a whole lot of the running game. Emory Jones has been tremendous to this point, running the ball. Trevor Helming has delivered a couple of nice strikes out there also for the Dragons. And one of the more difficult spots that they've been here on 1st and 20. Pressure comes from the outside. Helming steps up in the pocket, chucks it out to the left side. Complete! What a throw with pressure out to the 5-yard line. A beautiful pitch and catch there. A pickup of 19 as he found Cameron Chapman.
Yeah, the Northern Iowa Panthers have a quarterback in their future, because this is a great play to be able to step up in the pocket. Feels the pressure on the outside as they're able to shed Jones. This back shoulder throw on the run towards his weak side. That's a tremendous play for 19 yards.
I remember Pops in the Unidome, and he had a strong arm also. And looks like the apple does not fall very, very far from the tree. Strong arm there to make that kind of throw and set up a 2nd down and 1 from the 5-yard line. Man in motion. They'll hand it off. Emory Jones bounces it out, cuts it back in, cuts it towards the goal line, just shy of the score. It will be a 1st down and another 1st and goal situation for Johnston.
When he popped up and he saw that the ref had marked him just short, you see the exasperation out of Emory Jones going, what? No, I thought it was in. I think that's the right call out of the stripes. I think he was about half a yard short, but from everything that we've seen thus far, just about every time they're inside the 5-yard line, they're handing this ball off to Emory Jones. We saw the naked bootleg on their last red zone possession, in which it was a rushing touchdown for the Dragons, but they did that last time. We'll see if they're just going to hand it off up the middle again.
Under center is Helming. He'll take the snap, hand it off. Emory Jones up the middle, easily in. Touchdown, Johnston. Emory Jones with his 3rd score of the night. And it is all Johnston, and they are showing here in this first half why this is a team with a lot of expectations coming into the year.
Yeah, you look at the Des Moines Register, their top 10 preseason rankings. See the Johnston Dragons coming in at number 3, and we remember the run that they had last season, trying to make it back to the Unidome for the first time since, I think, 2022, I believe, is the last time they were there. You look at it, you see, they're number 3 in the preseason. They got the quarterback going to UNI as the PAT is up and good. 4 drives, 4, not only touchdowns, Trent, 4 rushing touchdowns. If your offensive line can make people move, that is a key to a great team. Think of those Southeast Polk squads that dominated all those years in a row. It's because they had a great offensive line. Johnston's got one.
They do 28-0. We're going to keep it right here as we make our way into the second half with 4:36 left in the second quarter. Lucas just mentioned just this dominating performance, and in the past, we think of some of those Johnston teams really over the last probably 8 to 10 years. A lot of passing. There's a physicality. There's an element here, and Coach Woodley said now it's about finishing the job. 2 heartbreaking losses the last 2 years to Valley in the quarterfinals. They want to get past that. They want to get back to the Dome. And early on here, it looks like they got that kind of team.
Yeah, it really does, because the way that they have played this game so far, and not just in how they're playing it, but the way in which they're playing it with the confidence level. We talked about their offense so far, but don't forget, I think Waukee has 1 first down so far in this game. This defense has been absolutely suffocating. We know they had the interception on the last drive. Oh, we got a little play here, Trent.
Chance for Nebo to get a return up the right side. He's got some room. 35-40 into the clear at midfield. Still on his feet, breaks the tackle all the way inside the 30. Thurston Nebo with the big return and gives life to the Waukee Warriors.
It's like we spoke it into, we made it happen, Trent. When last time we had a kickoff, we talked about how important it is, what a strength it is to be able to kick it into the end zone every time. The first chance that Waukee has to return it, Nebo breaks a couple of tackles, finds a great hole, and this is the first spark of life that we have really seen all night long for Waukee. So not only is it the first time that they've crossed, not only is this their best starting field position, it's the first time they've crossed the 50-yard line all night long.
They'll start at the Johnston 30-yard line, and my favorite part about that return might have been Nebo jumping up to catch that so it didn't get in the end zone.
He knew what he was doing.
And maybe threw off the timing just a little bit because it slowed things down, and that's what can happen. You never know in special teams, as we talked about here in high school football. I'm Trent Condon. He's Lucas Strain. This is high school football on ESPN Des Moines and on CISN TV. Also streaming on top of that on the WHO 13 app. Lots of ways to get involved with us here all throughout the high school football season. Now they'll go to work offensively. Pop pass across the middle. Incomplete. He was trying to find Mason Moritz coming across, but just missed high. Second down. Check that. That was a pass to Meisner.
So it's actually what I thought Waukee should try, because we saw what happened last time. First play, Johnston just comes guns a-blazing, running downhill to make the interception. They've been doing it all night. We've seen a lot of stuff at the line of scrimmage so far in this game for Waukee. Everything's been at the line of scrimmage because Johnston's just flying so far, so fast downhill. I want to see if you can get past him just a little bit. The play was there. He was just under pressure, so the throw to Meisner was just a little bit high.
From the 30-yard line, 2nd and 10 after the completion with 4:21 to play. They'll hand it off this time right side in a hole. Nice pickup out to the 24-yard line, a 6-yard run. Good hard run in there from Sam Heinrich.
With a burst around the outside, Sam Heinrich.
Third down and manageable now for Waukee as the clock runs towards the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Another spot down 28-0, probably 4-down territory.
Yeah, it's got to be, especially in high school. You don't know what your kickers, you don't trust your kicker all too often. From here, it would be, 24, 34, probably a 41-yard field goal. Even if it's not a 4-touchdown game, 41-yard field goal is not something you'll see a lot of coaches trot out there and try and do in high school.
Third down and 4. We're going to roll the pocket out for Slider. Still looking, still rolling. Now he's going to tuck it. Got a yard and delivered a blow. He also took a blow on the sideline there. Physical football on the outside, and guess who? Jacob Peterson.
Yeah, Jacob Peterson coming down again. He had a bunch of his Dragon teammates surrounding him. So Johnston once again just swarming. Waukee recognizing they're not getting much up front with their offensive line, so you got to get this out wide with the passing game. And they decide to bring it down, tries to tuck it and run. There wasn't much of a hole there, but there wasn't anybody else. There wasn't anybody open down the field either, so that's just really good defense out of Johnston as a whole.
4th down and 3 now for Waukee with 3:28 left in the second quarter. TJ Slider brings the offense out. They'll go pistol look, and we're going to get a timeout. Play clock was dwindling there. Waukee going to use a timeout. We'll take it with them. 4th down when we come back right here on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Back to live action here. Incomplete on 4th down and 3. Slider rolled out to the right side. He had a receiver out there. Great coverage on the short route there that was right at the sticks. But Lucas, you saw down the field potentially look like there was somebody open.
Yeah, so the play was designed. They had two guys going out towards the right side initially, and then they had a little bit of a trail, kind of like a backside post. But the way that Johnston was pursuing the passer, there was just no way for him to make this throw. Yeah, he was wide open. Yeah, it would have been a touchdown. But is somebody really wide open if the quarterback's under pressure? No, not really. So he may have been open, but there was no way the throw was going to be able to get to him.
Jarek Batty with the pressure on that play, forcing the difficult throw and the turnover on downs as Johnston takes it back, already up 4 scores. 28-0 with 3:24 left. Helming wants to throw. Stands tall in the pocket, now rolls out. Pressure comes and just chucks it down incomplete. He was trying to get it there to Beecham, but more than anything, he was getting rid of that.
Little smart play where he doesn't throw it away. What he kind of does, where he throws it at the feet. He knows he's got nobody open. Mm-hmm. He had a little pocket about 10 yards down the field, and you'll see a lot of quarterbacks try and force it in there because he sees, oh, my guy's open behind the linebackers. Safety's begging you, praying for you to make that throw because they're just going to step in front and make that interception. So it's a really nice job. Just throw it at the feet. Live to see another play.
High school football on ESPN Des Moines, also brought to you in part by Logier Heating and Cooling, along with Yardline Pest Control, as a completion for a first down. What a rope there to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 19. An absolute bullet there from Helming as that time he's finding Reinders once again.
I'm really impressed by Helming's quick release because that was catch. All right, we're going to pat it one time, and then it's just quick. You know, there's not a lot of movement. You think a guy like Tim Tebow, for as great as he was, he had a very slow release. Remember that, Trent?
Yep.
His release was very slow.
And weird looking.
Most lefty quarterbacks, they're going to look pretty smooth. Not Tim Tebow. That didn't look smooth. But that was a really nice throw. Quick release, nice tight window, another first down for the Dragons.
As they work from the 42-yard line, shotgun, twin receivers, left, one right, Helming to throw again. Pressure comes, and he is sacked. Taken down, the Waukee defense gets home that time. Brady Carr with the sack.
Nice play by Brady Carr, and it's a really good job from the entire defensive front for Waukee because you saw that they created the pocket themselves where if the quarterback tries to scramble, they're just going to be waiting there. So you don't create a rushing lane in which they can attack, which they can exploit, try and get up the middle because everything was covered downfield. Tries to step up, boom, there they are waiting for the sack.
It'll be 2nd and 18, a loss of 8 on the play, and here comes a flag. Offside is the initial call from the near side official. Boy, you get them backed up. Feels like, all right, the defense did something, and you get an encroachment penalty.
5 yards remains, second down.
And it was on the guy that just made the play, Brady Carr.
He's a little excited, wasn't he?
Yes.
He's like, he was all pumped up, and you saw his reaction after the sack too. He does the little TJ Watt celebration where he kicks that leg up in the air, kind of breaking through the door, breaking it down. Just a little excited to try and make it happen 2 plays in a row.
It'll be 2nd down and 13 after the penalty. Clock is running as it ticks inside of 2 minutes left here in the first half. 28-0 lead for Johnston over Waukee. Helming looks across the middle. He's got a man out there. That's Beecham. He's got the first down and more all the way deep into Waukee territory as they'll mark him at the 33.
Vulnerable spot to beat a cover 2. Right down the middle. Just go right down the middle, go right towards the goalpost. And Beecham, he's the guy to do it again. We've seen him attacking this middle all night long. So he goes over the middle, cover 2 defense. Both the safeties are worried about stuff happening on the outside half of the field. Just go right down that seam That's about another 20-yard completion.
90 seconds left to play. 2 receivers left, 1 right for Helming. Shotgun again. Sets up a screen this time, complete to Emory Jones. Jones pitter-patters forward and before he's cut down to pick up a 5 on the play. Clock is running with 1:15 left.
Yeah, we talked about screens earlier in the game where defensive linemen, especially at the high school level, a little slow to recognize it because they just want to make that play like they did a couple of plays ago. Everyone runs downfield. Nice job from the Waukee secondary to limit it to just 5 yards.
As we approach the 1-minute mark of the second quarter, Helming on second down is going to take a shot. Cross the middle's got a man out there again. In for the score. Touchdown, Johnston. Jaden Hauser on the back end of that one. And the first touchdown toss tonight from Trevin Helming.
Yeah, so it's a 4 verticals where they got 3 guys on the right side. Tight end is going to, he's going to run a deep cross where he goes about 10 yards down the field and then cuts in front of the safety. Well, there's another guy running a seam just towards the right of him. So the safety has to decide, am I going to go for the deep cross or am I going to go for the vertical? He kind of just stood in no man's land. He had both guys open, did Helming, takes the deep cross. Just, again, another touchdown for Johnston.
29-yard touchdown pass. The kick is up and it is good. 35-0 all Johnston here in our Central Iowa Game of the Week. Quick timeout, back with more in a moment on CISN and ESPN Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ricardo Solis Downing with another kickoff, this time a squib kick, and just going to be covered up at the 20-yard line. Made the choice there. Not even going to try for the return by Landon Tobin, a sophomore defensive lineman. You can tell he didn't feel real comfortable with that.
No, Coach, I'm in here to block.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in here to block. I don't care if there's 10 yards in front of me. I can get another 5 and go down. No, I'm here to block. So you can see, after 4 straight touchbacks, the 5th one didn't go into the end zone. You can see that long return from Waukee. Well, there's a bit of a decision here where Johnston says, we're not going to put it in his hands. We're not going to take that chance. We're just going to do a squib, kick it to the sophomore defensive lineman because we know he's not going to try and do anything.
All Johnston here, the final 30 seconds of the first half, and we'll see if the offense with TJ Slider can get anything going in the final moments. They're going to hand the football off out to the left side. A little bit of room there. Pickup of about 5 yards on the play. Pyle still going forward, and they get the first down on the run.
Yeah, so the clock will stop. 9 seconds left. Probably not going to do anything. You saw Johnston was in a 3-3 coverage. They had 3-3 front, 6 guys back. They're telling Waukee, you could go ahead and run that ball. You're just not going to beat us over the top.
Trey Johnson, the sophomore running back with the carry, his first of the night as the final seconds tick off the clock. And that'll do it for the first half here in Waukee. 35-0 Johnston. A dominating performance. We talked about it at the top. This is going to look like on paper maybe a rebuilding year for Waukee. The expectation, though, coming into the year for Johnston and the Dragons, they have looked great tonight.
Yeah, number 3 team in the state coming into the season. What do they got? 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. And they have looked dominating in all 5 of those possessions. Their defense has been stifling even after Waukee starts on the 30-yard line. They didn't pick up a first down. They went 4 and out. Went forward on 4th down, didn't get a first. So Johnston in all assets of the game except for maybe one kickoff have just absolutely dominated.
Coming up, it's the Iowa Corn Halftime Report. We'll get you updated on a bunch happening around Central Iowa and across the state of Iowa. One game of local interest also. Dowling Catholic a 14-0 lead over Valley. We'll get you some more scores coming up as well on the Iowa Corn Halftime Report here 35-0. Johnston with the lead on the road in the Battle of Purple over the Waukee Warriors. We'll take a timeout, come back on the radio side, the halftime report, as Drew Reinhardt will have you covered there with the halftime report as well. Back with more in a moment here from Waukee as Johnston leads at 35-0. We're back with more in a moment.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondAmes.com.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Waukee Athletics Director Eric Boyle joins us here on the CISN football pregame show. Eric, I just want to say thank you for joining me. It is the first day of school for you, for Waukee. So I just got to ask, do you still get the first day of school jitters, or is first day of school like Christmas Day for you?
I don't get them as much as I used to. I mean, I feel like as an AD with summer sports, you stay in a routine pretty much, at least I do. I stay in a similar school routine all year long. So I used to find myself worried that my alarm wasn't going to go off and all those things. And now it's just another day. It's just, there's more energy in the building, which is always nice. Kids excited to be back, some nervous about being back. But there's definitely a different feel in the hallways, and it's always good energy.
Let's talk about the new that's around campus. You guys have been working hard all summer long. Talk about the tennis and the football fields. Obviously, a little bit different of a look. What kind of led to those renovations? And they look great. Obviously, if anyone wants to keep up, they can go on your guys' Facebook and whatever. But just kind of talk about those, the new of it all.
Yeah, so our track resurface didn't go really well this last time around. And we had puddling in lane 1. We had some of the lanes even starting to deteriorate a little bit. It desperately needed a remodel. And so we decided that the best decision was to take it down to the studs and start over. And once we agreed or made that decision, the next piece was, or we started to kick it around on whether we should do the turf. My preference was, if we're going to spend all that money on a brand new track, the last thing I want to do is a year from now drive over a new track to get to the turf. So luckily for us, our district leadership and board agreed, and they started the studs or the foundation of the track, then went inside and did the turf, and then worked their way back out. And so we have new turf, we have a new track. Wherever there was blacktop, they've taken it out and put in concrete. We've got a new long jump pit, and then got a lot of feedback from our fans that our sound system maybe wasn't as good as it could be. And with the support of our booster club and our district leadership, we've replaced that whole system. And then our tennis courts needed a facelift. And so we redid the tennis courts all the way from the ground up, new fencing, new LED lighting over there. The only thing we really didn't get done over there that we would have loved to is add more courts, and we just don't have anywhere to go to add 6 more courts.
Yeah. Let's switch over to the fine arts side. Obviously, I'm a former theater kid, so I really appreciate how beautiful your new auditorium is. And then you also updated the choir and band rooms, to my understanding. So talk about, what kind of led to that whole process. I already thought you had an amazing auditorium as it was, but now you upgrade and you have one of the nicest in the state of Iowa. Talk about that, because I know for those kids' sake, there is no better experience that they're going to have than performing in those type of spaces.
Yeah. So, some of the beauty of having a second high school is you have really good stuff, and then something new comes along and maybe shines a little bit brighter than yours, which then helps push you to want more. And our new auditorium is amazing. We've just got into the new practice facilities for band and choir, and so it's all connected now. And with that renovation, we've got top of the line facilities for our performing arts kids who deserve it. And it's a great space and the nice thing is it feeds the whole south side. So like our elementaries will come and perform, our middle schools. It's just a good space for everybody.
Gotcha. One kind of last question for you. You are obviously the athletic activities director for one of the biggest school systems in the state. Is there a secret that you keep up with all this? Because I go to all these Waukee events, and you're always there, it seems like. There might be more than one of you. I don't really know. But is there a secret that you just are able to hold on to it? I hope you sleep well at night, because it sure feels like you just keep up with so much. How do you do it every single day?
I don't sleep well. I don't know what that is. But, for me, watching kids perform and compete and chase their dreams it's a super easy job to have.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate every day to get to come to a space where our community supports us by giving us great facilities. Our district leadership gives us every opportunity and resource we need to be successful. And then our coaches do a great job teaching our kids and challenging them to be the best they can be. So when you're surrounded by that type of positivity, it's easy to come to work every day and be a cheerleader, go watch kids do their thing and celebrate them, and just be fortunate to be a part of the Waukee community.
Awesome. Well, Eric, I appreciate your time, especially here on the first day of school. And I hope Waukee has a great school year ahead here into 2026 and 2027.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric Boyle.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ford Summer Sales Event at DeArmond Ford Indianola. 2026 Ford F-150s up to $14,000. Or take $10,000 off plus 1.9% for 66 months. Take $11,000 off on a 2026 Super Duty Crew Cab for current Ford owners. DeArmond Ford Indianola.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game.
Okay. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on this highlight package, and we'll go to a break.
Lazy yellow coming up tonight, shining from the tree. Crickets are singing in lightning bugs are floating on the breeze. Baby, you're ready.
So we'll do the home schedule first and then away schedule.
I'm gonna take you to a special place where nobody knows. Baby, get ready.
We missed it. I just dropped my bottle and I tried to catch it and I just used my right arm.
Oh no. Phil?
Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Trent Kahn and Lucas Strain back with you in Waukee as we have hit halftime on the Iowa Corn Halftime Report. All Dragons 35-0 over the homestanding Waukee Warriors. The third-ranked Dragons definitely looking like it here this evening. Both teams coming back out onto the field, getting stretched out for the start of the second half. Let's take a peek at the upcoming schedules. Starting with the Waukee Warriors, they go on the road next week, the long trip up to Ankeny, as long as you can do at least in the suburbs, making the drive up there for that one. Then they'll be back home as Cedar Rapids Kennedy will come to town. A road trip over to Valley Stadium to face off against the Tigers. Home matchup against DCG. Dallas Center Grimes preseason top 10 in the Radio Iowa poll at Marshalltown. Then Dowling Catholic and Waukee Northwest back-to-back before they go on the road to Waterloo West to finish up the season. A very difficult schedule, Lucas, for the Waukee Warriors.
Yeah, Trent, it's always difficult whenever you're playing here in Central Iowa. I see a lot of those teams, a lot of the best teams in the state come from the metro area. But you look at the schedule for Waukee, including this game against Johnston tonight, that is 6 top 10 teams, or at least according to the preseason poll. So when 2/3 of the teams on your schedule are going to be, or perceived to be, one of the top 10 teams in the state this season, Trent kind of called it almost a rebuilding year for Waukee. The schedule certainly starts to lean that way too. It's an uphill battle for the Warriors this season.
Johnston Dragons preseason number 3, looking like it with a 35-0 lead. And up next, how about this big one next week?
Yeah.
As they will get the Dowling Catholic Maroons coming in for their home opener. That should be a tremendous game. Then another home matchup. They'll get the Little Cyclones of Ames coming to town. A road trip over to Iowa City to take on Liberty. Of course, Liberty has been in the Unidome the last couple of years, though. Their tremendous quarterback, Reese Redding, no longer there as he has graduated. Council Bluffs Lincoln will be coming in to Johnston after that. Another home matchup against Ankeny. And then another tough, long road trip out to Sioux City East. That's a preseason top 10 team. Southeast Polk, and then a road trip against Des Moines Roosevelt over to the MediaCom Stadium for that one will conclude their schedule. Some interesting road trips there, though, for Johnston.
Yeah, so the Dowling one's obviously going to catch a lot of eyes. What could potentially be, well, right now it's 1 versus 3. Maybe it could be 1 versus 2 next week after Johnston's dominating performance tonight. And the Southeast Polk one's going to catch your eye because of how good they've been over the last decade or so. But those 2 road trips, you know, the one out to Iowa City Liberty and the one out to Sioux City East, those are 2 top 10 teams. Those are two really good football teams, or at least we think they're going to be this season. So they're going all the way that far out. That's really interesting to me because you don't see it happen too often where you see the different sides of the states cross over with one another. But Johnston, they're looking up to the task right now. Those could theoretically be the 2 toughest games. You think about long travel. You don't see it very much in high school, but that's a long road trip for a bunch of high school kids against teams that are supposed to be some of the best in the state. Those are intriguing matchups, definitely games you want to circle on your calendar.
12 minutes on the clock as we get ready for the start of the third. A 35-0 lead for Johnston over Waukee. Trent Condon alongside Lucas Strain. Thanks for joining us here tonight for our Central Iowa Game of the Week. And a big thank you to Iowa Corn for our halftime report and all our great sponsors of high school football here throughout the course of this season. After the game, looking for a sweet treat, do it at the Outside Scoop in Grimes. Great place to go, and my kid's favorite ice cream in the Metro, and not gonna lie, Dad likes it a lot too. The Outside Scoop in Grimes. By Elite Eye Care, location just up the street for us here in Waukee, along with 2 locations up in Ankeny and Norwalk. iDrDesMoines.com. By Wolf Construction Roofing, if you're in the need of a new roof, go to wolfroofing.net. By Yardline Pest Control, and use the promo code TC. That'll get you 50% off your first treatment. Again, promo code TC with Yardline Pest Control. Rush Negative Brick Gentry Law PC, Mental Game Learning Lab, Graphite Construction Group, the Rookie Sports Cards, Bevy's Logier Heating and Cooling, and by Fuller Family Dental. It'll be Waukee to kick things off as Johnston will get the ball to start, and we are at continuous clock time here, Lucas.
Yeah, it's not too often you see the continuous clock starting the second half. Here we go.
Kickoff from number 43, Braylon Blackford. A chance to return up the right side. A lot of room out there. Breaking a tackle to the 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 43. And great field position to get it started for Johnston on the big return there. They are just doing everything right.
Well, it's the first time we saw Waukee kick it off tonight, so it's the first time getting to see the sophomore Blackford, and it was a classic situation where the kicker may not be the one to make the tackle, but the kicker is the reason that he was brought down. because Blackford was the only one left. He slowed him down just a little bit so that his teammates were able to make the tackle. All right, here we go. Here's what we're going to see out of Johnston so far. We saw a lot of Emory Jones in that first half. We also saw them throw the ball down the field quite a bit. You want to know how aggressive they're going to be when there's a 35-point lead to start the second half, but there's still so much time left. You can't just give in that early.
They'll run the ball up the middle and nothing there up the gut as they hand the football off right away and go to the middle of that Waukee defense. And we've seen some moments out of this Waukee team. Definitely some bright spots, including that middle of the D.
Yeah, so I think their middle linebackers, they've actually shown pretty well tonight. I know Emory Jones has all those rushing touchdowns, but they've all come at the goal line. You know, they've all been short yardage. It's not like Emory Jones hasn't had a bunch of room tonight. He's had some individual plays where he's been great so far. But I think as a whole, the defensive line's done a good enough job, but the linebackers have done really, really well for Waukee, or at least that's been the brightest spot tonight so far for the Warriors.
Helming setting up a screen complete to Jones, but hit in the backfield and ripped down for a loss. Great play and recognition by Cale Morin.
Yeah, we talked about that linebacking squad, the crew. So you look at Morin, he's the one who reads this well. We talked about screens. It's the third time Johnston's tried to run one tonight. Team's getting used to it.
And a flag comes in before the snap. Helming was looking to chuck it again. Not going to get the opportunity here. And likely a procedure penalty.
Ball start. Offense. Number 0. 5 yards. Remains. Third down.
So got the sophomore Cameron Chapman moving early there, and they'll move it back 5 yards.
Again, that's the downside of going quickly. Not everybody is going to be ready to go. I don't think he was just quite set. I don't know if he necessarily went early. I think he was still just come a little late to the party.
Clock starts back up. Again, we are in continuous clock time here. 35-0 lead for the Johnston Dragons over Waukee. Third down now and 17. A 2-yard loss and a penalty has backed them up. Helming in the pocket across the middle, up the seam, complete for the first down. A beautiful throw again to Jaden Hauser.
Now that is a beautiful, beautiful throw because there's 4 guys surrounding him there. That had to be perfect. If it's underthrown, it's interception. If it's behind him, it's picked. In front of him too far, it's picked. If it's down the field too far, it's picked. He's got a little 4-man window where he's got to try and squeeze that in there. So that is just a great throw. That's a really good throw out of Helming.
First down as they move into Waukee territory to the Warriors' 41-yard line. Showing pressure off the edge. They'll hand it off right side and gobbled up there. Brecken Beer in on the tackle after the short gain.
Yeah, so Waukee trying a little something different where they're going to bring a slot blitz off of the wide side of the field. And Johnston's kind of running a play to beat it where it is an RPO where he's going to read him. He probably made the decision before the play that he was just going to hand this off anyway. But again, it was a good job by the Waukee linebackers holding that to just 2 yards.
Second down and 8 from the 39-yard line for Johnston, going left to right if you're listening to us on radio. And you see it here on your screen on CISN TV and the Channel 13 app. From the shotgun, Hellman goes play action. Up the field again, a beautiful throw, but in and out of the hands of his intended target, tried to find Bryce Beecham.
I think we know who Johnston's number 1 wideout's going to be this season.
Yeah.
Or at least the guy that they've targeted most tonight has been Beecham. Talked about the injury that he sustained last season against this Waukee team. That's another good play where they get it behind the safety. But Trent, what I'm really impressed with this passing game, and yeah, we can talk about the quarterback play, we can talk about the receivers. He's got all day.
Yeah.
He's got all day to stand in the pocket.
Yeah, Coach Woodley felt like he was pretty confident with this group of offensive linemen. 2 good offensive linemen back from a year ago, but felt like they had developed some depth up there. They definitely had a shot to be good right away, and that has been the case certainly tonight. Third down and 8. Helming feels the pressure, steps away, now throws a shot towards the end zone's got a man. Touchdown, Johnston! A 39-yard touchdown throw as he found Cameron Chapman.
So even then, when he's a little bit under pressure, he's able to maneuver out, and this is a great scramble job out of Johnston. When you're short, closer to the line of scrimmage, you're supposed to break down the field, okay? When you are down the field, you're supposed to come back towards the quarterback and just constantly flow with him. And, dude, that is just a great scramble job out of the Dragons there, and even when Waukee does things correctly up front, Johnston's able to find the end zone.
Ricardo Solis Downing on for another PAT. It is up, plenty of leg, and it is good. 42-0 Johnston dominating Waukee as we come back. This is high school football on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Nebo spins out of a tackle on the kick return, still on his feet out to the 20-yard line. A wild sequence there. He bobbled it on the return, had to retreat back. Spun out of a tackle and at least made something of what looked like it was going to be nothing.
Yeah, that should have been nothing. He picked it up at the 1 yard line. Maybe he even should have let it roll in, but we're seeing he's got the return game. He had the 70-yard return earlier in the game, and then as it happens, even in a 42-0 game, you're going to see some extracurriculars after the play, Trent.
Little pushing and shoving. We got flags out there near the 32-yard line. And this is something that's also going to happen as the moon illuminates past us over towards the east. Boy, what a great night for football.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. 44. Late hit. That's all being forced half the distance. Push down. Waukee.
Parker James whistled on that one. Picks up the flag. The senior defensive lineman. Well, certainly some frustration starting to brew. You can definitely feel that from the Waukee side as Johnston is really dominating all phases of the game.
Well, you can picture how easy it is to get under James's skin. Think it just takes a couple of words. In a 42-point game, you're already frustrated. So it doesn't take much to take the knife that's pretty already driven in deep and just twist it a little bit more.
From the 11-yard line, 1st and 10 for Waukee. They run it out the right side, came out the backside there with the quarterback, TJ Slider. And just lost his footing there. Had a little bit of room and able to stumble forward for a short gain.
Yeah, it's probably a play where Slider should have cut that upfield. It's just another situation we saw it earlier in the game. He's looking for the long play just a little bit. And this comes from a little bit of inexperience because he played a little bit last year, Trent, right? But he wasn't the full-time quarterback. So I think just trying to push a little bit too far. You're down 42-0. So I think he was just trying to stretch it a little more than what he had. If he cut it upfield, he would have gotten more yardage.
2nd down and 8 from the 13. In fact, he did not throw a quarterback a year ago. Threw a pass, a year ago. It was Hunter Wilson was the backup to 4-year starter Beckett Baker at the quarterback spot. Here's a good run out near the 1st down stick as they push that one forward, but another flag coming in as a helmet comes off. And the extracurriculars continue down there. The helmet popped off of number 19, Colton Smith. Coming into the game, or at least trying to check in there, was Trey Johnson.
They're bringing him in.
And Smith's going to come out.
Foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 22. That's plenty of force. 15 yards in the run. The offensive player can stay in the game due to the fact the foul caused the helmet to come off.
Caden Meester will be whistled for that one, a face mask. So we're getting a little bit of both ways here.
Yeah.
Definitely don't love to see that.
Here the ref said that he could have stayed on the field because of the face mask, but I do think Waukee did a good job. He looked a little fired up there. You got to take him off the field, let him cool his head just a little bit.
Halfway through the 3rd quarter, 42-0 our score. Jet sweep, bouncing it to the outside, trying to cut up the corner. The 45-yard line. Good run there on that play as they flipped it out and got it to Cal Meisner.
Yeah, that's a good job by Meisner because nothing should have happened there. I mean, that was a really good push from the Johnston defensive front. He had to retreat quite a bit, go about 4 yards further back in the backfield before he was eventually able to turn the corner. So it made it look like it was like a 15-yard run. But because he was so far back, it turned in only about 6 or 7.
5.5 to play in the third quarter. Johnston 42, Waukee nothing. Warriors, though, with a sustained drive here, as they'll have it 2nd down and 3. Working from their own 44, and here comes another whistle, and I believe we're going to get a timeout. We'll take it with them with 5:16 to play in the third quarter. 42-0 Johnston with the lead. Back with more in a moment on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Run, jump, lisp, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondames.com.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Down in 3 for Waukee, but a sack will take them back. Evan Gosling, the linebacker, came charging in and absolutely drilled TJ Slider.
Yeah, so Slider has an opportunity where he's looking left, trying to make everything work. There's a highlight from earlier in the game there on CISN, but he's trying to make a play. They're trying to flood the left side of the field. There's just nobody there. There was just nobody on the backside blocking, and it's just smoke, and it's a good job. Waukee's a little lucky that they held on to the football there.
So instead of going from 2nd and 3, now it becomes 3rd and 8 after the sack. Slider stepping up to throw. Pressure comes. Steps through one tackle. Now going to run with it. Tucks it. Hit at the 45. Falls forward. There is a flag on the far side of the field. About a yard and a half shy of the first down, but we'll check on the penalty.
So, Trent, while we're checking the penalty, what did you say that his rushing stats were a season ago? Because he didn't play quarterback, because they had Beckett Baker for all those years. But what did he do last year? Because we're seeing tonight, he likes to tuck it and run quite a bit.
Yeah, trying to look through the numbers from a year ago. He was listed, he wore number 80 last year. He had 4 receptions for 61 yards. Not sure if he was a tight end or a wide receiver, but this is a change. And
it is.
You know, even if he was a quarterback, all the way through, you don't do that during your junior year. You're not getting reps. It's difficult to step out here as a senior.
No, his sophomore year probably plays for the sophomore JV team, playing quarterback there, but it's still a long wait where that's a full year where he would, and even you can practice as much as you can, Trent. You can't replicate game action. You just can't do it.
So it becomes 3rd and 13. Slight rolls out to the right, chucks it, little bit short, and going to call it complete, I believe. Got his hands underneath it there on the far side. Right at the first down marker.
I don't think he caught it.
No. Not a demonstrative move there by the far side official, and it will be incomplete.
Yeah, we're getting a look at it here on CISN, and I can't really tell.
No.
Can't really tell. The PA announcer thought it was completed as well. It looks like the ref on the far side is the only one who said no.
Miles O'Connor, the leading receiver from a year ago, that is back. And being 4th down, the punt team will come out now for Waukee, as we will see again Cal Meisner punt this one away. Line drive punt hits at the 30-yard line. Takes a Waukee bounce inside the 25 and rolls down to the 23, where that's picked up with 3:15 left to play in the third quarter. Again, continuous clock here. A 42-0 lead for Johnston.
All right, Trent, so remind us all what the continuous clock means, because obviously timeouts it's going to stop, but when does it stop? When does it keep going?
Also during penalties, as they're officiating the penalties, that is a time. Change of possession also will stop it after a touchdown score. That's when it stops as they line up the kickoff. But those are the times, for the most part, that you'll see stoppage. Injury also, obviously, they'll stop the clock on that one. So things can move pretty quickly here as the clock does continue to run inside of 2:40 left, as the Johnston offense is going to come out on the field. And you start to wonder, too, reserve's going to start to come in, and we're going to see some new faces maybe out there for this Johnston offense.
I don't know. The first game of the year is always tricky because you want your guys to get as many reps as they can.
They will run the football up the middle. Trevor Helming still maintaining the controls.
Well, we do have a backup there where Dante Davis is the ball carrier that time. We saw him a little bit earlier in this game as well. Emory Jones, very obviously one of the best running backs in the state. We saw him a season ago as a junior. Just what he has done so far tonight for the Dragons. Dante Davis just getting limited action so far. This is the first step we've seen, the first domino that's fallen.
42-0 Johnston with the lead and the football.
Yep.
They're going to throw it, but we have a flag that comes in before that. As we wait on the flag, want to say once again thank you to our friends at DeArmond Ford in Indianola. They're on a mission to raise $15,000 in September to support the Helping Hand Warren County. With every vehicle sold in September, DeArmond is donating $50 to the cause. If you're able to bring a cash donation or non-perishable food item to DeArmond Ford in Indianola all throughout September, together we can make a difference. Thank you to DeArmond Ford for their great cause that they're helping with here this fall. Second down and 15 after the penalty as Johnston moves back inside their 20-yard line, mark it at the 18 as Helming lines up under center. Got a back on his left hip and will hand it off there. Short gain out to the 22-yard line. I believe that was number 28. That Jax Kitterman on the run. No, check that, 26. I was close. Dante Davis, the junior running back with the rush.
So we've seen him maybe his fourth or fifth carry. And again, it's just the difference. And it's nothing against Dante Davis, where we've seen this Waukee front four, really their linebacker, the second levels, have done a decent job tonight. It's just Emory Jones has been the difference maker. And you see it right there, where it's just a little bit different of a step. And for the first time tonight, we're actually going to see the third string running back in there for Johnston.
Third down for the Dragons. Down to 4 on the play clock. As they just get the snap off, they'll hand the football off on the left side on 3rd and long. And a run out past the 25-yard line to the 27. Pick up a 5 on the play. It'll bring up 4th down.
I think that was Keegan Miller, the senior who was getting the carry.
And that could be the final play of the half here in Waukee. Looks like Johnston's going to let the clock run down, and we'll take the timeout. We go to the fourth quarter, all Johnston, 42-0 over Waukee. Back in a moment on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ford Summer Sales Event at DeArmond Ford, Indianola. 2026 Ford F-150s up to $14,000. Or take $10,000 off plus 1.9% for 66 months. Take $11,000 off on a 2026 Super Duty Crew Cab for current Ford owners. DeArmond Ford, Indianola.
We go to the fourth quarter in Waukee. Johnston, the third-ranked team in the state, has dominated here this evening. A 42-0 lead over the Waukee Warriors. It'll be 4th down and 6 as we get back to live action, and the punt team will be out for Johnston, a punt team that we haven't seen a whole lot. I believe that's Ricardo Solis Downing back to punt it away. Takes a high snap, gets a good boot into that one. Fair catch called for. Ball comes loose and scooped up by Johnston. The Dragons will get the ball back on the recovery by Isaiah Thompson.
It's the scariest thing in football. I don't look like it, but I was a former punt returner. It's terrifying when you have somebody who's running as fast as they can, and he waves for the fair catch, does his job. So what you want to do when you try and catch a punt is you need to have your thumbs pointed straight towards the sky, and you want to catch it about as high as where your face mask is. That's where you want to bring it in, and then collect it to your body. What he did there is he had his hands right a little bit lower than where his chest is. So if you do that too low, it's just going to go right through.
Turnover, ball back to Johnston as I'm working on it here in the booth trying to figure things out. We got pump, pass, and kick coming up next week.
Oh, I can't do it.
I need all the football tips I can get.
I can't do it.
If you go to therushradio.com, you can get signed up, a chance to win a $250 gift card coming up next Friday at Valley Stadium in our Central Iowa Game of the Week. Looked out to the right side, incomplete, and a new quarterback in the game for Johnston as Grady Cruz, a sophomore, will get his first opportunity here at the varsity level.
By the way, this is coming from a guy who did muff the first chance he had at returning a punt. Very first one. Didn't muff another one after that. All right, so here we go. We got Cruzy into the game, and we saw him throw it out wide, and he's a little upset with himself. Probably not going to get to throw it too much. Probably just going to hand it off a bunch because even though the clock is going to stop after an incompletion, a lot of coaches will still just opt to run it the entire time. That's false start.
And they will hand it off. You mentioned there's the flag that comes in, bounces it to the outside, fighting forward. Good hard run there from Johnston's Dante Davis, but a flag here on the near side of the field.
Yeah, so it's technically not a false start because what they're going to call this is that he was going in motion, but he was going forward towards the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. So a guy can be moving. He was just going forward while the ball was actually being put in play.
We'll wait for Brad Bunting, the referee, to make the call.
Offense, number 24, 5 yards, previous spot, replay, second down.
I find illegal motion and illegal shift very fascinating because they're the same thing. It's just different things under the category. Like illegal shift just means there's two guys going in motion at the same time. Like you can categorize all of it under false start, but we have three different ways for what it's called: illegal shift, illegal motion, and a false start.
Leads to a little bit more confusion for everybody and the newbies to the world of football, and even us old heads that have been here for a long time still get confused.
I see. I had to think about it earlier in the game. I got it wrong. I couldn't remember which one was illegal shift and illegal motion.
From the 38-yard line now, second down and 15 for the Dragons. Out of the gun, they will hand it off up the middle. Not much room there. Good tackle in the middle by the defensive tackle, Richard Dameron, as he's able to get the tackle on that play. And it'll be third down and long.
So you go back to that illegal motion, and the reason that he was going early is because here's why I think it was, because I think you just get so used to the cadence of the quarterback who has been in the game. Think back a couple of years ago when it was Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut, came in for the Vikings. Remember that strange run that he had up in Minnesota where he was just lighting the world on fire? Remember his first game? He wasn't supposed to play. He had to go over on the sideline, and he was practicing his count with the offensive linemen so they could all get used to his cadence. It's small stuff like that you don't think really adds up, but it really does.
Third down and 13, handoff to the right side and hit at the line of scrimmage on the handoff to Keegan Miller. Little extra afterwards there, but no flag comes in as the clock continues to run. It'll be fourth down now for Johnston. And we'll
Looks like they're going to punt.
Work on that coffin corner punt, maybe.
This is typically, it probably isn't something you're going to see a whole lot of because this goes into the end zone. It's a 17-yard difference, which 17 yards is a 9-yard difference, but it's probably not. Oh, no.
They're going to try the boomer here. They're going to give an opportunity to Ricardo Solis Downing. This will be a 54-yard field goal before he gets the opportunity, though. They weren't quite ready. And they're going to
they got to reset that.
Yeah, going to reset the play clock. So they will do that. Reset the play clock, and once again, Ricardo Solis Downing will try to knock in a 54-yard field goal for Johnston. He lines it up, waits for the snap with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Hold is down, kick is up. It's got a chance, but it is no good. Wide right. Certainly showed the leg on that one for Solus Downing, and that's something Coach Woodley, he'll put in the back of his mind going forward.
Yeah, he had the leg. I think he got there. I think he had probably about 3 yards to spare.
Yep.
Just you're kicking it from the right hash. Hash marks are a little bit wider in high school. Makes the field a little bit bigger. So just didn't get that curve right in at the end. But yeah, he's got the leg. It's something Johnston's going to keep in mind. And high school rules, goes through the end zone.
Yep.
Ball goes to the 20. So kind of like the punt. The punt goes into the end zone we were just talking about.
Yeah, definitely like, that opportunity at the high school level. Like to see a few more kicks and those long ones. That is more difficult, and we know the trajectory that goes into it. Getting that opportunity, and if you do miss, it's not that big of a demeanor as you start at the 20 the other way. And we got more flags coming in on the keep there from Slider.
How many times you see the student section doing the "I believe that we just won" chant? 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Battle of Purple going the way of the Johnston Dragons tonight. 42-0 over Waukee. Coming up next week, the Central Iowa Game of the Week will take us to Valley Stadium, where the Valley Tigers will play host to Waukee Northwest. And both those teams might be coming in 0-1 if the scores hold. Here's a run for the quarterback, Slider out to the left side, a short gain. Valley Tigers down 21-0 currently to Dowling Catholic, with about 3 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. And at last check, Waukee Northwest was trailing against Ankeny 28-7. Could be a couple of 0-1 teams desperate for a win next week.
And that's a Waukee Northwest team that came into the season preseason number 2. They got Matt Heitland, their star quarterback, back again. That's a team with a lot of promise, a lot of upside coming into the year.
Good throw out to the left side, a completion from Slider as he is able to get the first down on the completion to Boston Onstadt. 6'1" senior with the reception.
Trent, that is their first down, non via penalty since their second drive.
Wow.
That's how good this Johnston defense has been tonight.
Halfway through the fourth quarter, Johnston leading 42-0. They'll hand it off left side, spinning forward in a short gain for Sam Heinrich. Well, maybe a chance here for Waukee, gain a little bit of momentum, get your footing a little bit, and give yourself a little bit of hope going into week number 2.
Yeah, that's all this is at this point, because even if there was more than 5.5 minutes left, you know the score. You're not going to come back and win this game. So this is just repetition at game speed. You get some plays under your belt. Get your quarterback some confidence. You're not putting your backup in here. You want to get him all the confidence in the world.
Got to take a shot, but just missed deep. Looking for Onstadt as TJ Slider just missed on that one. Had the pocket. Good work out of the offensive line.
So I think that's what we've seen just a little bit tonight. Where the throws aren't short. When they're short, that means you're kind of short-arming it. You're not going to get it there. You're a little nervous. I think Slider's just coming in a little bit excited. We've seen a lot of these throws have been just a little bit over the head of the intended receiver.
Here's a run up the left side, and that'll be good enough for a first down for Sam Heinrich.
And Heinrich's standing up looking for the face mask. I said the same thing.
Saw kind of his head jerk a little bit to the side there. But a good, strong run out of him. This is a talented young man. A junior, played last year as a sophomore here at the varsity level, and gets the first down to the 42-yard line. 4.5 to play. Bobble back in the backfield, pick it up, and pick up a few, escorted out of bounds.
Sorry, I keep doing the Tom Brady where I go, in the middle of the play. Broken plays are oftentimes what can lead to a big touchdown. We saw the cornerback on the far side of the field there for Johnston. Came crashing forward once he saw the ball was on the turf, and the receiver was just streaking down the field. Nobody was there. But again, talked about it earlier in the game. Quarterback's under pressure, especially if it's a broken play like that. They're not thinking, let's look down the field. They're just thinking, all right, I got to run forward.
2nd down and 8 from the 44. Handoff right side. Big hole out there into Johnston territory. Spinning through a tackle. Still on his feet. Cuts back to the 25-yard line. Big run by Sam Heinrich.
So this is what we're talking about. You just need to get some kind of confidence. Get your offense moving so where they can go into the offseason. Maybe they're going to have a film morning tomorrow with stretches. You come in Monday, maybe that's their film practice. But you got to give them something where you can have some kind of confidence going into practice next week, because if you walk out of this game with a 0 on the scoreboard, your offense is just going to feel depleted.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for Waukee. As they work with the football, down 42-0. We have a whistle and we have another flag. Check again with Brad Bunting down on the field, who's been busy with his crew this evening.
Encroachment, defense, number 43, 5 yards, remains, first down.
5-yard penalty on that one. Move it forward. Johnston, number of reserves out there for defense. Some of these guys getting their first reps at the varsity level also. And these are important also for these backup guys for Johnston. We know over the course of the season just the physical nature of playing high school football. Play across the middle, incomplete. Try to find Cal Meisner. It'll be second down.
Well, it's important to get them in now because say that they're thrown into the spotlight later on in the season, sudden injury. It's not good if that's their first repetition of the year. You know, my junior year, I was thrown in at receiver after our number one guy went down. It was my first reps of the year because it was our first game of the year. What did I do? I proceeded to drop the first ball thrown to me. See, like you just got to get some kind of reps under your belt because you're just going to be a little bit nervous.
Second down and 5 now for Waukee. Here's a shot to the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown, Warriors. Miles O'Connor on the score. A beautiful throw from TJ Slider. And Waukee gets on the board.
All right, Miles O'Connor's the guy that we highlighted for Waukee before the game started. But there is some laundry in the backfield.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike offense, number 67. That penalty, of course, on the kickoff. This is number 67. First unsportsmanlike of the game.
Senior offensive lineman Nick Scott gets hit with that penalty, and you don't want to see that at any point, but you finally get on the board, you finally get something positive to happen, and then you get a flag on your offensive lineman.
It's just something you don't want to have happen. I didn't see it, so I don't know what I don't know what happened. But yeah, you finally get that touchdown. It's something to feel good about, and then you shoot yourselves in the foot with the penalty. Now, of course, they're just going to take it on the kickoff. PAT is just going to be normal distance.
Braylon Blackford will get his opportunity, the sophomore kicker. Line drive kick is up, and it is good. 42-7, Waukee's on the board with 2:35 left. We come back with more high school football on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
Run, jump, lift, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondAmes.com.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Welcome back as they walk off the penalty, the 15-yarder, after the personal foul against Waukee. So instead of kicking off from the 40, as you do at the high school level, it'll be back to the 25-yard line for Braylon Blackford. 42-7, Waukee gets on the board on the touchdown pass from their senior quarterback, TJ Slider, able to find Miles O'Connor, the junior wideout, and get on the board, get a little something positive going here. And it's always tough, too, as a returner, knowing exactly where to stand.
You have no idea. If you're one of the deep guys, you have no idea what you're supposed to do. And this is the free range spot where you're the kicker, where you really can just swing that leg as hard as you can. See just how far you can kick it.
Here is the kickoff high kick. He'll be grabbed at the 26-yard line. Chance to return for Johnston. Out to the 40, busting forward to the 44-yard line. Nice return, good field position again for Johnston as they'll look to potentially run out the clock here, get some of the backups, a few reps in the final moments of this ball game.
Yeah, that's probably all we're going to see. Just run it a couple of guys, a couple of times. We've already seen their senior running back, number 16, get a couple of carries. In this one, it's a 35-point game with 2 minutes left. You're not going to do anything because you don't want anybody to get injured because it is just the first game of the year. And next week, you'll look ahead to who they got. They have the number one team in the state, who's going to start the season 1-0, the Dowling Catholic Maroons, as they're leading Valley 21-0 with under 20 seconds to go. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. I wouldn't be wouldn't be surprised. Probably is going to be number 1 versus number 2, Trent.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking like it's trending that direction as Johnston runs it forward here. Final 100 seconds of the ball game, and a short gain of a yard on the run on that play. Good tackle by Moritz. And the run by Xavier Collier. Getting an opportunity for Johnston. Second down and 9. Yeah, number 1 versus number 2. Waukee Northwest. We'll keep an eye on that one also. Again, at last check, it was a 28-7 lead for Ankeny in that matchup. Here's second down and 10 from the 44-yard line for Johnston. They'll have to snap it a couple more times as Dowling Catholic polishes off Valley 21-0. Here a run up the middle. Ooh. Short gain. Lift it up and push it backwards. Good physical play on that one.
We'll have to do this one more time.
One more snap out there before this one will go final.
So did you have Saturday morning practice after games when you were in high school, Trent?
Well, I was a cross-country runner. You can't tell by my physique.
You weren't a football player?
I was 5'7", 5'6".
I still thought you would have gone out for football, just knowing you.
No, cross-country all the time.
I thought you would have said, I'll be an offensive lineman.
I was not fat in high school. I was skinny. I had no strength, though. That was a problem, too. Run up the middle. But, yes, we did have Saturday morning practice.
Cross-country team did.
Cross-country did. We had meets on Saturdays. It was rough. As the final seconds tick off. Down to 8 seconds left, and that'll do it as the teams line up. 42-7 our final here. Johnston dominates Waukee and moves to 1-0 on the season. We'll come back, put a cap on this one on the other side, and hand out our Graphite Construction Group Hard Hat Player of the Game. Johnston a winner, 42-0 over Waukee. The post-game show coming up next here on CISN TV and ESPN Des Moines.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Back with you one final time in Waukee as Johnston comes on the road and gets a dominating win. 42-7 over the Waukee Warriors. Johnston to 1-0 on the year. Waukee falls to 0-1. Lucas Strain, some final thoughts on this one. A lot of pub about this Johnston team coming into the year, and they definitely look like one of the better teams.
Yeah, so when you come in with high expectations, a lot of times teams can feel the pressure of it, and then they'll fall short. So one of the most important things that Johnston had to do tonight was come out guns a-blazing. They had to come out bat out of hell. They had to come out, ready to go, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw them have a 2-touchdown lead in the first quarter alone. Emory Jones had two touchdowns on the ground. They scored a touchdown on their first 6 possessions. 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns. 5 of them were on the ground. So we saw them dominate offensively, especially with their offensive line. And then the defense was suffocating all night long. They gave up just a handful of first downs throughout the entire game. Couple of penalties here and there for the Dragons. Couple of penalties for Waukee as well. Both teams are going to want to get that, tightened up heading into week 2. But Johnston, a team with high expectations, they lived up to it tonight.
Time to hand out now our Graphite Construction Group Hard Hat Player of the Game. Lucas, I like to put the pressure on you. Wide range of opportunities here for Johnston. Who do you have for us tonight?
So I was impressed with Peterson on the defensive side of the ball because he was flying around all night long, but I got to go with Emory Jones. You see what he did on the ground for the Dragons tonight. Had a handful of rushing touchdowns, all of them inside the 5-yard line. We saw the speed, we saw the patience, we saw the power for the senior back who led the team in rushing a season ago. He just picked up right where he left off. Was impressive from the get-go tonight. So my Graphite Construction Group Hard Hat Player of the Game, it's got to be Emory Jones.
He definitely took it and dominated in that one. We'll be back with you next week with more high school football here on CISN TV, along with our radio partner with ESPN Des Moines, 102.1 FM and 1350 AM. Our game next week will take us over to Valley Stadium, where the Valley Tigers will play host to Waukee Northwest. And not just that, Lucas, we're going to be having some fun beforehand. You'll be doing your radio show coming up from 4 until 6 o'clock, and we got a punt, pass, and kick competition out at Shields.
I will not be partaking in said punt, pass, kick.
You can do the punt.
I can kick in both ways. I can maybe throw it with my left hand.
There you go.
But that's about all I can do.
You probably would still beat me.
I don't know about that. I can't do much.
If you can beat Sean with your left hand. Now, you put it all together. See, there is a challenge
I can outkick Sean pretty easily.
Yeah,
I've made a 45-yard field goal before in my life. That was about 3 years ago.
I don't know if I could make one from the goal line. This is going to be, I am an old man. This is going to be hideous, but we're going to be having fun. Go to therushradio.com where you can get signed up. And the winner of this contest is going to bring home a $250 gift card to Shields. Again, therushradio.com, and you can click on the promo tab there and get signed up for your chance to hang out with us next week over at Valley Stadium. Final score for the final time tonight, Johnston a winner, 42-7 over Waukee. Thanks to everybody out there. Thanks to our great partners as well for being with us and the sponsors of high school football. Thanks for joining us here tonight. On the radio side, we'll send it back to ESPN Radio and bid adieu on CISN TV.